Hey, Angie Rae here with Girl That's Toxic. I want to talk today about the Associated Press. They spent a year examining how racial disparities have harmed generations of Black Americans. Um, I really appreciate the Associated Press for taking the time to do a report like this. Oftentimes, communities of color don't get reports like this. We don't get the medical profession interested in finding out ways to make our lives better. That happens more for the majority population. So I really appreciate this. And as an Associated Press award-winning journalist, I really do appreciate it because Associated Press is where I go first for my news. Um, I want to talk about something in particular, but let me just talk very briefly about the things they covered. They covered higher rates of infant and maternal mortality, higher incidence of asthma during childhood, more difficulty treating mental illness as teens, and higher rates of high blood pressure and Alzheimer's disease. And that's the one that made my eyes go, whoa. So I wanted to bring this to you. These are the areas that they focused on. And I think a lot of us have heard the statistic regarding high infant mortality rates in the U.S. with respect to Black infants versus white infants, and oftentimes infants of color. But I've got an actual statistic. So the highest infant mortality rate in the U.S. is 69.9 per 100,000 live births. This is for Black children for 2021. Black infants, so 70 per 100,000 live births don't make it. Just heartbreaking. Preterm births, similar statistics. Talking about asthma, which reminds me of my sister. She had a really bad asthma issue. More than 12% of Black children nationwide, compared to 5% of white children, have problems with asthma. And some of the triggers for asthma include cockroaches, dust mites, mold, rodents, things that are in your house when you are poor. Things that are in your house when you are poor. So you just get, here's a double whammy bam. You got all this stuff in your house that no one wants, but then it's also making your baby sick. So 4 in 10 Black children live in areas with environmental and health conditions compared to 1 in 10 white children. So 4 in 10 Black children versus 1 in 10 white children live in an unhealthy environment. And now to this. Alzheimer's. Wow, I am stunned. Let me just get right to it. Blacks are more likely to develop Alzheimer's. Full stop, according to this study, this report that they did. About 14% of Black Americans over the age of 65 have Alzheimer's compared to 10% of whites. And some experts are saying that these rates could actually be higher. Oh. Mount Sinai researchers found that Blacks are less likely to receive dementia-related meds than whites. Now, this goes to a larger issue of how Blacks are treated by the medical profession, that we are not taken seriously when we talk about the pain we may be in or the problems we may be having. I had a doctor try to do something with me without giving me some type of pain medication, and I just let him have it. I let him know that I knew the statistic, okay? So I'm wanting to make sure that you know the statistic. So again, what we're focusing on is Alzheimer's. And what this last piece is saying that I just mentioned about Mount Sinai is that the researchers found that Blacks are less likely to receive any type of dementia-related meds than whites. That's crazy. And we have to make sure that we are advocating for ourselves, for our elders, for those we love. Now listen to this statistic. Some are estimating that by 2030, nearly 40% of all Americans living with Alzheimer's will be from the Black community or the Latino community. Latinx, Hispanic. You let me know in the comments what you'd prefer. Let's do it again. By 2030, which ain't too far away, 7 years, nearly 40% of all Americans with Alzheimer's will be from the African American community or the Latino community. Wow. This report is eye-opening. I hope you have a chance to look at it. Again, the Associated Press did a 1-year study on the health disparities for African Americans, and this bit about Alzheimer's is very eye-opening for me.